You know that feeling, right? The flight of stairs you used to take two at a time suddenly feels like a mountain. Or maybe those grocery bags just feel a little heavier every single week. It's something we all experience, muscle aging. But what if the secret to fighting it isn't just about lifting more weights? What if it's about unlocking a hidden power that's already deep inside our cells?
So yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? And while we might just chalk it up to being an inevitable part of life, some really groundbreaking new research suggests the answer is hiding at the microscopic level. And honestly, it's a lot more hopeful than you might think.
And let's be clear, this is about so much more than just not being able to lift heavy things. It's about your independence. It's about your mobility, your freedom to live an active, full life on your own terms. Put simply, healthy muscles are the absolute bedrock of healthy aging. Okay, so before we can get to the solution, we really need to dig in and understand the problem. What is actually happening inside our muscles as the years go by? And why is it so critical that we get to the bottom of it? To understand what's going wrong, we first need to meet the heroes of our story. Think of them as a microscopic cleanup crew that's working 24/7 inside every single one of our muscle cells, just keeping things running perfectly.
The whole operation is called autophagy. And you can basically think of it as your cell's built-in recycling program. It's constantly on the lookout for trash, old, broken down proteins and other cellular junk, and it breaks them down so the parts can be reused. Without this, our cells would get cluttered up and messy really fast, which leads to all kinds of trouble.
Now, within that bigger system, there's this elite, specialized squad. It's called chaperone-mediated autophagy, or CMA for short, and the key word here is selective. See, CMA isn't just a big garbage truck that hauls everything away. Oh no, it's way more like a meticulous quality control inspector. It identifies specific, individual damaged proteins and personally escorts them to the recycling center. It's a much more precise, much more sophisticated way to keep the cell healthy.
And check this out, we can actually see it in action. Scientists figured out a way to make CMA activity literally glow green. Each one of those glowing dots, that's the cleanup crew at work inside a muscle fiber. And look what happens after just 90 minutes of exercise on a treadmill. The activity just skyrockets. This is like a smoking gun. It shows that CMA really kicks into high gear in response to the demands we put on our muscles.
So this cleanup crew is obviously essential for keeping our muscles healthy, which of course begs a really important question. What happens if it just stops? What if all those inspectors just decided to walk off the job?
To get an answer, researchers designed this really elegant experiment. They engineered a special mouse where they could basically flip a switch to turn off a single gene called LAMP2A. Now, this gene is the master controller for the entire CMA process, so by turning it off, they could shut down the cleanup crew completely. But, and this is the really clever part, they made sure it only happened in the skeletal muscles, leaving the rest of the body completely normal.
Now, why was that so important? Well, by isolating the change to just the skeletal muscles and just the CMA process, they could be 100% sure that any problems they saw were a direct result of that cleanup crew being shut down. It's a super precise way to figure out cause and effect.
And what they found, well, it was dramatic. Taking away this one cellular process didn't just cause some minor issue. It set off a total and complete cascade of failure throughout the muscle tissue.
The results were just stark. The mice that didn't have a functioning cleanup crew in their muscles developed what's called a myopathy, a progressive muscle disease. I mean, their muscles didn't just get a little weaker, they actually started to systematically break down and degenerate.
This bar chart tells the story perfectly. They did a simple grip strength test. The healthy control mice are there on the left, and on the right, the mice without CMA. The difference is just, it's huge. There's no arguing with it. They were significantly weaker. And if you want to see what that weakness looks like under a microscope, wow. The top images show healthy, neatly packed muscle fibers. Now compare that to the muscle from the mice without CMA on the bottom. It is a mess. You can clearly see signs of degeneration, of inflammation. The fibers themselves are damaged. The tissue is literally falling apart.
So what was actually causing all this damage? Well, without the cleanup crew, the cellular junk just started piling up. Damaged proteins accumulated, and that caused key systems to fail one by one. For example, a protein that's vital for managing calcium during muscle contractions got stuck, which threw the whole system out of whack. The cell membranes got leaky and unstable. Even the mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell, they became swollen and just stopped working right.
And to put a real number on that instability, let's talk about a protein called dystrophin. Think of it like the steel rebar inside concrete for muscle fibers. It provides strength and structural integrity. Well, in the mice without CMA, about 15% of their muscle fibers had lost this absolutely critical protein. It's no wonder the whole structure was so fragile and prone to collapse.
Okay, so I know, it's a pretty grim picture, but this is where the story takes a really hopeful turn. Because after proving just how crucial this cleanup crew is, the researchers asked the next obvious question: can we fix it?
And this is where it all connects directly back to us, because the scientists confirmed that the very same decline in CMA activity they saw in aging mice, well, it also happens in aging humans. As we get older, our cellular cleanup crew starts to slow down and gets less effective. So this isn't just a mouse problem, it's our problem too.
But, and this is the most exciting part of this whole story, it turns out that this decline, this weakening of our cellular cleanup crew, it might not be a one-way street.
I'm going to read you a quote, taken directly from the study, because it's the scientific punchline to this whole thing. The researchers write, "Remarkably, genetic upregulation of CMA activity in old mice partially ameliorates skeletal muscle aging phenotypes." Now, I know that's a mouthful, but what it means is incredible.
Let's just put that in plain English. When they found a way to reactivate and boost the CMA cleanup crew in old mice, it actually started to reverse the signs of aging in their muscles. The mice got stronger, their muscle tissue got healthier. They were, in effect, turning back the clock at a cellular level.
And that leaves us with this final really provocative question. We've seen that when this single tiny cellular process fails, our muscles fail with it. But when we boost it, our muscles get stronger. So could the future of healthy aging lie not in some external pill or magic cure, but in figuring out how to support and enhance the power of our own internal cleanup crew? Based on this research, that possibility is incredibly exciting to think about.